a director. So yeah, it's slowly getting there, but I feel like there's just not much done to include women and say, hey, this is your space too. You're allowed in here and you can do it. You can do it. Like, and back to the fight again.
Welcome back to The Tea with Nikki. We are pro-tea, not anti-coffee, and I'm loving this little line. But if you want, have a quarantine as well, as long as you get comfortable. Today I speak with Lufuno Sathekge, who is a wardrobe stylist and has worked on productions from V Entertainment to SuperSport. We talk about how cutthroat the production industry can be and the hardships she's had to enjoy as a Black woman and now as a new mother as well. I do want to say that I want to normalize the fact that mothers breastfeed, as little Vlad does wake up and Lufuno has to breastfeed him. I know that you'd said that your mom was your sort of inspiration for fashion because she's always been stylish. So
she's...
Get into celebrity styling after that. When was your moment when you realized that actually I want to pursue fashion?
It actually, I think it found me. I'd always loved fashion, but I never saw it as a career ever. I just used to dress up for myself. And then when did I start styling? I think around 2010. A friend of mine was building his photography portfolio, and so we used to play around quite a bit, and used to take pictures of me initially, and then he started taking his photography seriously and started doing shoots for clients, and then he was just like, I'll come through and do the styling, and that's where it started from. Like he gave me my first paying gig. And I was like, oh, cool, I can do this. So I started doing it on the side. Yeah, I started doing it on the side, and then a friend needed an assistant on set. So I started just volunteering my services just to learn the ropes. And I was still working in corporate, so I was doing it like part-time and on the side. And then full-time, I think I started in 2014, 15. When I quit corporate for good, and I was just like, I was done there. And a friend of mine who works for a production was like, oh, we're looking for a stylist for a TV show. Do you know anyone? And I submitted people's names. I didn't submit myself. And and everybody had to like do a blind presentation of the looks that they'd put together for the presenters. And of all the people I suggested, nobody was like suitable. The presenters didn't like the stuff. And then he was like, hey, why don't you give this a try? And I was like, okay, cool. And I sent it the presentation, and the presenters loved it, and the rest is history.
That's so awesome. Oh my word. So you're busy submitting other people, and then here you are, he liked you the best. It
was crazy, but I guess it was just the right place at the right time, and the stars were aligned, and
That's so cool. And I know you mentioned that you were in corporate, and before that you studied BCom marketing. So how come you never thought about fashion design, not necessarily styling, but maybe design college?
I mean, I think coming from where I come from, it's just doing a degree in fashion doesn't sound normal for the parents. It doesn't sound viable or profitable. For them, it's just like you need to get a degree where you can get into corporate so that you have a steady income, and that's that. So it wasn't something that I thought I could. I mean, I thought about it. I really wanted to do it, but my mom was just like, okay, go get a proper degree first, and then you can do this later, Say hi, Auntie Nikki.
Hello. Hi, Vladimir.
Hey, hi. He was about to cry. Now he sees the phone and he's happy.
Yeah, he sees there's something on the phone. Hello.
This is how he's been communicating with the family. So I think he's now just used to it.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Thanks. Are you hungry? Okay. Let me try get him on the boob. Solves everything.
This is so cool. This is so 21st century. Hey, interview. Sorry, I just got to breastfeed my child quickly, but let's carry on with the interview.
Hey, sign of the times.
It reminds me of that series, Working Moms. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
And then when she's
thing.
pumping and she's sitting at the table and she's busy pumping, she's like, "You wanted to have the meetings at this time."
Yeah, it's crazy, but it has to be done.
Yeah,
it has to be done.
So yeah, I suppose what's been tough now since Vlad has come into the picture, very obviously. What's the hardest part about trying to balance, being a celebrity stylist and recently just having a child?
I mean, I haven't even really gone back to work. So the production company that I work for, the one show that I'm doing, they're like, "Oh my God, with the virus and all that jazz, we don't want you coming to studio. So just drop the clothes off and we'll handle the rest, because we don't want you getting sick because you have a little baby, and then we don't want him getting sick." So that's kind of been great, because I've got like extended maternity leave. But then with commercials, everybody just kind of thinks that once you become a mother, you don't want to work anymore. So I haven't really been getting like calls to like, "Hey, come through, we have a shoot, we have a commercial we're shooting, are you available?" So I'm literally now putting out feelers and saying, "Hey guys, I'm actually ready to work now." Yeah, like I do want to work, I still want to work. So just, if there's any work, I'm ready to work, I'm open, I'm available to work. So I think that's like the hard part, that the moment you become a mother, they kind of discount your services, like you just want to be with your baby all the time. It's like, no, we can do all of it pretty much. So so I've just been putting out feelers there and hoping for the best.
And how old is Vlad now? How many months ago did you have him?
He is 4 months now. He is turning 5 months end of this month.
Okay, so they're obviously just assuming, for the first year you probably want to be home and spend time with your child. You can't balance both. I mean, heaven forbid.
So I'm just trying to get myself back in there.
I think that there is quite a stigma in the industry that once you have a child, it's difficult to find. Well, people just assume you don't want to work. It's so strange. And it's like, it's crazy because the men have kids and they still want to work, so what makes them think that a woman in production just wants to be like a stay-at-home mom and carry on with life? We need to make a livelihood. We have careers. So if a lawyer and an accountant can go back to the office after they've had a child, what's a stylist? So it's just that little battle that I'm trying to fight and get back into it. But I've had a few conversations with a few producers, so I'll hopefully be getting back to work real soon. Well, that's good. That's good news. You must be excited. And before the stigma of, okay, now you've had a baby, you've been pregnant, you probably want to stay home, what was the hardest part about being a celebrity stylist?
I mean, I'm not like a celebrity stylist in the celebrity sense. I don't like dressing individuals, and that's why I prefer working in productions, because then it's like a very controlled environment. Your brief comes from the production and not from the individual themselves entirely. So that makes the work easier. I've tried working with individuals, and oh my God, it's a bit of a nightmare, because you're the stylist, but at the same time this person thinks or believes they have their own style, and then they end up basically they just want to hire you as a glorified assistant, pick up my clothes, take them to the cleaners, put together this look, but I know exactly what I want to wear and I know what my style is, which is frustrating. So I stopped trying to be a personal stylist to celebrities and just let other people do that, because other people have the patience for it. I honestly don't. I just feel like if you're hiring me for the job, trust me to do the job, and then we'll work well together. But if you still have your own ideas of what exactly you want to do, then do it. There's no need to have another person there. Just consult me, ask me for advice. Hey, do you think this works? And then we can leave it at that. But don't have me laboring only for you to come back and completely dismiss my craft. So that's I think for me, that's like the struggle with working with celebrities, that they want glorified assistants and not stylists. So Yeah, very few of them will allow you to be a stylist. I mean, someone will be like, oh, I only wear dresses from this designer, but I want you to style me for this red carpet. So basically what you're saying is you need me to go fetch your dress from the designer. You know what I mean? So I've had a lot of those situations. I'm like, why don't you just go fetch your own dress from the designer and wear it? Because I don't see why I need to go pick up the dress from the designer. I didn't style you. I didn't do anything in the interest. And when they do that, when you want to bill them for your time, they want to then give you a price because, come on, you didn't even really style me. You just went and picked up a dress from this designer. Exactly. So I left that part. I just now do productions where the last word is with the producer. The producer decides, this works with the lights, this works for your body, this is what you're going on the show in, and that's that.
And what productions do you work on? Because I've looked up your account, Mrs. Brown Styling.
Yeah. So that's the long term. Like that's like my first TV job product. So I've done the entertainment since I started, and that's now over. So I did the entertainment. I did quite a couple of shows under Don't Look Down Productions, and then I'm currently doing MassiveMusic that's on One Magic. So yeah. Yep.
What's your favorite fashion trend at the moment?
Currently, I'm a leather lover. So I literally have like a collection of leather pants and leather jackets, and like I just really, really love leather, and it's all thrifted. Ooh. So yeah, so I've been wearing leather for like years now. Like it's just like, for me, leather is a basic. So I'm really excited to see everybody join the party.
Winter basic, leather.
Yeah. I mean, I wear leather pants and some. I've got like leather skirts that I like wear with t-shirts. So like, I'm like leather obsessed. So to finally have like everybody be here, the shops selling leather, it's really, really cool. Even faux leather, it's okay, It looks
okay.
like leather.
It's ethical.
Yeah. Oh, no. And the sad thing about it though is that I don't fit into my leather pants right now.
I'm sure.
So I can't even be like, oh, you're wearing faux leather, I got these pants and leather. But I'm really enjoying the leather. I'm liking what's happening now. I love slouchy jeans as well. I think they're really, really cool. I love how they're so versatile. They look great with pretty much everything, and they look great on everybody, literally. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot. Yeah.
I'm really glad that mom jeans came back.
Oh, girl.
They're so cool.
No, I just wish they would fit me.
Well, you are a mom, technically.
Yeah, but I bought them before I was a mom. And now my mom body's like, are you sure those are mom jeans? But yeah, I'm looking forward to fitting into those, yeah.
And I know you're also a digital content creator, so kind of what's on the horizon do you see for yourself? Because I see you've also been cooking a lot. Is there maybe an ebook coming, or?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't as yet see myself as a cook. I love to cook because, well, my mom is pretty much a cook. Like, she can make anything and she's amazing at that. So I think we basically all kind of took after her. So all my sisters cook. We love to cook and experiment with food. I cook because I have a family now and I love cooked food. I'm not very much into junk food. And yeah, if I'm impressed with the meal that I cooked, best believe it's going on the gram.
It looks so good. It looked like I was like, what ebook are you using? Can I
not even. No, I'm just really showing off. Just really showing off. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, with the content creation, I'm enjoying the mommy stuff. I'm enjoying just being able to like share baby related content, mom related content. I'm hoping to get back into the fashion scene as soon as my clothes fit again. Yeah, but it's so exciting. Like, I feel like I'm watching the space transform, IGTV, like everybody's doing such amazing work on there, which is really, really great. And I don't know about TikTok. I'm unsure about that. So I'm looking forward to just entering into the IGTV space. You know, I'm working on some content that requires me to actually speak to people. I suck. Like, I don't like the sound of my voice. So
Why? I think you sound great.
I shoot these videos and then I listen to myself. I'm like, oh no, hell no. You're not putting that out there. So yeah, maybe eventually I'll just get to a point where I'm like confident enough to post up a video. And yeah, but I'm working on that content just because a lot of people come to me, like a lot of new moms are like, I don't know, they think I know everything, and they ask me these questions and I'm just like, oh shit. And what's crazy for me is that I have a really easy baby, so I'm just like, he's easy, so it looks like I'm like I know it all, but I'm also just learning on the job like everybody else. I'm literally just winging it. But luckily for me, I have like a super easy baby, so raising him has been quite a breeze. But I read a lot, so I am able to like say, hey, if this is not working for you, try this. And yeah, so that's been fun, just having like women feel safe, pregnant mothers or new mothers just feel safe to share with me and say, hey, I'm going through this, how did you cope with this and that. It's really cool to do that. So I'm looking at like just getting into that content wise and just being that space where people can ask me questions and I can answer them based on what I know in my experience.
That's really awesome. It's so nice seeing like mommy bloggers and mommy blogs really starting to pick up in a trend as well. And I can just imagine being a new mother. It's daunting. You don't know what to do, and to have someone to confide in must be really helpful. So
the community is really, really great. It's really, really nice. Like everybody's so nice to each other. It's so great. Like literally, mummies are like so gentle with each other. It's really, really awesome to watch. Like to just be a part of that, where there's always a mother that you can ask, and they'll always be there and willing to like answer you and give you advice. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. And I've obviously also been following you for a while now, and I've been seeing a lot of your mommy content come on, but you've also been quite vocal with the Black Lives Matter movement, which has been really amazing what you've been sharing. Thank you so much for that. To ask you if you could give us some insights about it and your thoughts and opinions on it.
I'm very involved because I'm a Black life myself. And a lot of people would say it's very American, but Black people are not just American. Black people are everywhere, and our struggles are quite similar. If not the same. Yes, the cops here are not killing Black men, but Black men are killing Black women's lives. You know what I mean? So there's just that constant thing that your skin is always going to be out there. Your skin is always going to put you in a place of harm in a way, and that's the center of it. I feel like that's excuse me, that's where it stems from, having to reaffirm that your life matters. Discrimination based on the color of your skin, that's literally the center of where the violence stems from, where the killings, where the prejudice and all that just comes from. It's basically just feeling as though the person with a skin that's darker than yours does not deserve the same level of respect and consideration. They're not as human as you are. They're not as sensitive as you are. They're not really human. They're lowly. They're not even an animal, because I've seen racist white people treat Black people worse than they would treat an animal. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot for us. And in South Africa, it's even a lot because you're female, and we literally in the center of women being massacred at the hands of men. And it's such a heavy fight. It's so heavy, because you don't know how much more you can do, because it's your life, and it just seems as though the oppressor just doesn't see it as something of value. And it's our kids that get killed by these men. It's our sisters, it's us that get killed by these men. And the ignorance that just surrounds gender-based violence and racism it's just so much. And and it hurts us physically, it hurts us emotionally, it hurts us spiritually. It just hurts, and then we still have to get up and fight. And it's hard, but we can't stop fighting. We can't stop fighting for change. We just have to carry on and hope that we survive and live long enough to see the change, or that our kids actually reap the benefits of that fight. It's very systematic, and that's why racism is beyond just calling someone a name. It's Black Lives Matter in every step of the way. At work, they matter economically, they matter health-wise, they matter everywhere. And I think that's why I'm constantly reaffirming that Black Lives Matter, because it's not just a man that died, it's not just a woman that's been killed, it's so much more that we are being beat up with. And that needs to change. It's really tiring having to constantly fight for everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, in South Africa, we have a fair amount of issues, so never mind the gender-based violence, the racism, and it's said that in South Africa that Black Lives Matter movement is more American than South African, but they are those sorts of issues in South Africa. And one thing I've seen come up quite often over the past couple of weeks is that South Africans, we also need to take a look at ourselves, that we're talking about Black Lives Matter, but there's also such a strong thread of xenophobia as well in the community from our other African counterparts, from our nationals, so Zimbabwe, Zambia, Congo. So it's
and then beyond that, in just South Africa, among South Africans, there's tribalism, and then amongst the tribes themselves, there's colorism. So it's so many layers of so many issues that have to be dealt with. And it sucks that half the time you end up just on the periphery and just putting a blanket situation over these very delicate matters, because honestly, as South Africans, we can't say Black Lives Matter when we kill our own. Black lives won't matter if Black women's lives don't matter. Black lives don't matter if your Black Zimbabwean, Nigerian, Ghanaian brothers' lives don't matter. Then no one matters in that case. It shouldn't just be about a Black man being killed, a South African Black man being killed, a South African woman being killed. It's about Black lives overall, and that's very important to constantly be cognitive of.
Thank you so much for sharing as well. I really appreciate it. I'm sure people watching will find this very valuable as well, because we're also bringing up colorism. I've spoken with my friend that I'd mentioned, her and I've spoken about colorism, which I would have never even known about as well. So with the colorism that girls who have darker Black skin than other Black girls, and then the girls who are lighter skin get preferable treatment. I never realized it because it's not my reality, and it's so much deeper than just Black Lives Matter. It's saying that as a blanket statement. There's so much underneath the surface that we're only beginning to scrape the top.
Absolutely.
But so through all of this, obviously being very vocal about Black Lives Matter and gender-based violence, what would you define as feminine leadership? What does that mean to you?
It's very firm, it's very honest, but it's also it always comes from a place of compassion. I think that's what every female has as a superpower, that you can always be compassionate. You can be firm but gentle, and for me that's like the definition of feminine leadership. It's never in jest. I think feminine leadership comes from a place of, how does this affect the next person long term, and it's always a place of, how do I make this easier for the next person?
And obviously the production industry, sort of more the softer skills, so to say, you know, softer, using inverted commas, but the creative, so wardrobe, makeup, those sorts of things are mainly seen as like feminine roles, and then directors you'd associate with it being a man or those sorts of things. Do you think the production industry could be more inclusive of women in these sorts of positions as well?
Absolutely. It's if and that, like, being a woman, you know, like, we're fighting twice, 3 times because you're fighting so many battles. Yeah, I mean, it's Hollywood only got on the bandwagon of female directors when, like, 5 years ago. That's when we started actually seeing female directors being recognized. They're not really winning awards, but at least their movies are being out there and they're recognized as such. In South Africa, you need to break the racial barrier and then break into the career barrier, you know, and yeah, there isn't enough female directors, period, white or black. They're not there. I literally know a friend of mine that started directing a couple of years ago, and I know another one that just literally, she went from styling to being a director. So yeah, it's slowly getting there, but I feel like there's just not much done to include women and say, hey, this is your space too, you're allowed in here and you can do it, you know, you can do it. Like, and back to the fight again, when you are a woman in this industry. So I, as a stylist wanting to be a director, I go and I study and I learn how to be a director, and now I want to actually start working. And who do I work under? A male director. And half the time, what do I have to deal with? Needing to give sexual favors or having to dumb myself down for the sake of his ego. And so the fight continues, because now I have to be soft and gentle and feminine and only dance to his tune, you know, like literally work through what he allows himself to give me. So if he says, okay, today you can direct an episode, he'll constantly be over your head telling you how to direct it, because he knows better. He's worked in this industry longer. He's been doing this longer. You don't know what you're doing. Let me show you how to do it. You're still not allowed to be a female. You're still not allowed to bring your sense of femininity to the job, because it's so male dominated. They are the gatekeepers, and if you choose to fight for your femininity in the space, chances are you are going to be closed out and they won't want to work with you. Oh, you know, she cried because the other day I told her not to do this. Yeah, she did, because she's human and she's a woman and she is gentler, she is softer, and she's an emotional person. Also, you are human too. You should cry. Try it. It helps. It works.
Also, you don't need to be a dick if you're giving.
You don't need to be, exactly. So that's another thing. Like, where are the female directors? They're there. Are they getting work? Not necessarily. And why? Because the producer wanted them to come to his place first before they got the gig. And when they said no, he was like, okay, then you'll never work in this industry again.
And now I want to come to a segment I like to call the ABCs of your career. So, A, what was your amazing, affluent aha moment?
I'd say the first TV episode that I styled. You know, that was the most. It was for V Entertainment, and I think that day I styled all the presenters. So it was just that affirmation of just like, oh my God, look at your work. It's on TV, and seeing the credits roll and my name in the credits. That was it for me. There was, you can do this and you're doing this, and this is where you really meant to be. So carry on.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And B, what was your bad business blunder?
Not registering my business early enough, because that completely affects your invoicing, and the tax is ridiculous. So that's a
good one. Yeah, to think about, like.
Just not treating it as a business, you know, treating it as another job. And then ending up in situations where you realize how much money you could have really made, and how if you treated it as a business earlier on, you could have like placed yourself a level above the rest in a sense. So yeah, it's just learning the admin side of things, basically just mastering that. It's important.
And C, this can be anything, but your comical cinematic cock-up.
Oh my god, have I had those? I don't think I've had like a cock up. I'm such a clown all around that for me it's like my whole work situation is a cock up, because I make a joke about I'm like, honestly, like I laugh about everything. Like I find the funny in everything, and I think that's why a lot of people love working with me, because I don't take a lot of things personally. So yeah, but I'm also very professional and very careful in the same breath. So I have yet to have a real massive blunder.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
We'll obviously skip the challenge as you can't leave.
Yeah.
So we'll just move quickly to the quick fire round. So these are things that I haven't sent you before, and it's just off a whim. So first thing that comes to top of your mind. What is your favorite genre of music?
Hip hop.
And what are you currently binge watching?
Trash. Lots and lots of trash TV. So I'm crazy. I
started rewatching. You want to name some of
rewatching.
them, or you don't want to?
So I started rewatching seasons of Real Housewives because Netflix has them now, all the first seasons. So I literally went Atlanta, and then I went LA. Is it Beverly Hills? Yeah, and then I'm on New York. Like, yeah, I'm binge watching trash TV. Date My Family. Like, yeah, and I think I'm doing it now because I have Vlad, and when you're trying to watch something seriously and focus on it,
you can't.
And then the baby cries, and then he's talking, and then he wants to play. You can't. But trash TV is so great for the background.
It is. Like, I agree with you. Like, I often also just put it on in the background and carry on. And it also kind of makes you feel better about your life as well. You're like,
absolutely.
Everything's so hard. Then you watch them and you're like, okay, I'm not that.
Yeah, I'm not that crazy. Yeah. So I've literally been binge watching a lot of trash TV. Also, it just allows you to escape the reality. You know, you can laugh at other people for a moment, and you know, you can get caught up in their drama and not have to deal with yours. So, yeah. That's what I've been.
What is a daily essential for you that you can't live without in your routine?
Coffee.
And last one, are you a morning person? I know this doesn't really apply because you have a child. But before, were you more of a morning person or an evening person?
Morning. Absolutely a morning person. I love my mornings. I'm happiest in the morning. I'm very cranky at night. My body clock is ridiculous, so I love to sleep at night. So at night, I sleep. You know, I'm one of those people that... like I'm one of those people that when I put my head on the pillow, I'm gone. Like sleep comes very easily to me. So I love to sleep, and I love to wake up early.
Are you a 5 a.m. riser?
Now, not so much, but before baby, I used to be a 5 a.m. riser. I could wake up early in the morning and meditate and pray, just listen to silence and have my coffee and go for a run or go to gym when it's still quiet. Like I'm that person. I love mornings. Like I love to do everything in the morning. If I could do absolutely everything in the morning, I would do everything in the morning and just lay on the couch for the rest of the day.
I'm on the same page as you. I'm on the same page as you because I don't know how people like. I used to be a night owl, but then as soon as I started moving things to the morning, because when you start 9 to 5 as well, then you realize how tiring it is going into the office all day. If there's anything else you want to do, I don't want to do it at night. Even my training is in the morning because at night, after work, I'm like, no.
Tired. Absolutely tired. Like.
I'm lazy. I'm like, give me the couch. I'm gonna put my couch.
Exactly.
And that's my life now.
Exactly. So when you wake up and your body is ready to take on the day, that's when you take on the big tasks and then you kill it, you know? And it's so satisfying when you're done, isn't it? Like when you're like,
good.
I've trained, I've had my coffee, I've replied to all the emails. Yes, 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 yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the end of the Tea with Nikki. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. It was amazing to meet Vlad. And
he's mad at me now. Yeah, but thank you so much
for sharing about your opinion on the industry and what it's like been working in there, and then also opening up about the gender-based violence and the Black Lives Matter.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for lending an ear and a platform. Thank you so much.
Who would have known that the production industry is so cutthroat and there are just so many hoops for women to have to jump through, considering that the women are very often the face of these. But nevertheless, we persevere, we will get through it. I hope that some of you have learned a bit today about the issues of xenophobia and do some reading up about colorism. It's important that we continuously educate ourselves and that we remain cognizant of those around us and what is happening, and to just be present in what it is that we do in our actions.